Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note about my tarot readings, they are for your sun, moon and ascendant. So whether your sun, moon or rising sign Sagittarius, this is for you. I always advise people to watch all three of their sun, moon and rising signs because it's going to give you a more complete picture, and it will also help you understand how, how my style of reading actually resonates with you, like which one of them it's hitting for you. So with that said, if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. For those of you that are continued subbies, y'all know I love you, and if you please don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Strength card, and what that gives you is this is going to be a week where you are digging deep, right? This is a week where you're really searching the internal space for that extra strength or that last push for something. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is about you gearing up to a very big project. And the feeling that I get from it is it's almost like this is you digging down into that space to say, right, this is going to be the next thing that I work on for or towards. And it's almost like you're going into that internal space and saying, I know it's going to take this in order to see that through. And by doing that, like by utilizing the Strength card, it's going to see you really finding that whatever it is that you're working on, it's not just for you though. This is in some way, shape or form, this is for the masses. So I'm really, really excited for you. For your actions and options this week, you have the Four of Swords. So while you're doing this, right, it's kind of like, the superhero drops to one knee. It's that moment where, they draw power to themselves, whether it's the power up. That's what you need to be focusing on this week. This isn't a week to be out there doing. This is a week to be in here, right? This is gathering your strength. It's pooling your resources. It's bringing yourself into balance and alignment through meditation, through patience, stillness, and diligence, right? This is a week for you to go inward, not outward. And this, it looks like this is what you're doing. This is going to be a really powerful week for, inner pooling of resources. For your communications and conversations, you have the Three of Pentacles. So this week, there is going to be an experience of what I would literally call inner tuition, right? So yes, it has the intuitive aspect to it, but this week you're going to be learning something through observation of self. It's almost like this week the information that you're getting is going to be coming purely from within. You may have many moments over the course of this week actually where you just know something and you're not sure how you know it. It's like, okay, where did that come from? Because I don't remember reading that in a book. I don't remember being told that. It's like you just know this week. You might find yourself finishing people's sentences. You might even find yourself this week being a little bit stubborn, all right? And the reason I say this is because there's a sense here that you have, it's almost like all of the information that you need, you already have, and you've learned to unlock that this week. It could make you a little bit hardened when it comes to listening to other people's points of view. All right, so just find a way to navigate that this week. Now, for those of you that work for somebody else, this is going to be a week where it may be suggested to you that this is what you need to get to the next step, and there's a part of you that may not necessarily be interested in that, especially if it's more work than the money it kind of calls for. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then for those of you that work for yourselves, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, etc., this is again, right, this is you. In fact, actually it's kind of in stark contrast, because this week it's like you're going to be figuring out, right, I've got all this newfound knowledge. What am I actually going to do with that when it comes to my work, when it comes to my business? One thing that I will say to you as well, it does look like you're connecting with possibly or potentially a young person or young people, and be open to what they have to share with you, right? Wisdom, regardless of the source, is wisdom. right? It's kind of like that, you know, lots of people, when I was younger, everyone used to say like, oh, what music do you like? And you were kind of judged based on that. And I used to say like, oh, that's so boring. Like, if it's good music, it's good music. I don't really care what genre it is, right? It doesn't really matter. This week, try to approach things that way. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, what are you ready to learn? And more importantly, what is it that you were told that you never would or could learn? This week is that time for you to think about how you're going to redress that, and you're going to take the power back from that shitty situation. I hate it when people say that, like, oh, you'll never be able to do that. Bitch, watch me. For your sorry, that's the bougie part of me coming out there. For your money and materials, you have the Devil card. This rest, recuperation, meditation, stillness, all the rest of it, that doesn't cost anything. And anyone that tries to charge you for that kind of thing is not doing you a service. This week, do not spend money on anything that you can already do. And do not spend money, like, because you could go overboard with it. So it's kind of like, you could be like, okay, well, you know, I want to find somebody to teach me how to meditate. Before you know it, you spent like 1,500 quid. For what? Somebody to show you how to calm yourself down. There are a million ways to do that don't take any money. All right, so soapbox moment, I will shut up now and bring it back into focus. That's the bougie part. Once it's out, it's out. For your physical health and vitality this week, I kind of see the Devil card as, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is the result of overindulgence. So if you kind of blew past Christmas and New Year, if you celebrate those, you know, could just continue to overindulge, this week it could really catch up with you, and you're going to have to find a way to start addressing that sharpish. For your home and environment, I'm going to say this: don't go overboard with trying to, you know, it's like more stuff is very rarely the answer to anything. So if you're trying to improve the home or whatever, like, don't just buy more stuff to do it. There are other ways to do it. And sometimes the best way to do that is to declutter rather than to add clutter. For your love and relations, you've got the Three of Swords. This is not an easy card, but you have a saving grace here. The first one is that you've got this, right? Look at that. You've got the 2 3s. 2 3s, when they come up together in the tarot, literally represents a calming influence. So the more open and communicative you are this week, even with the Mercury retrograde that's taking place, the more open and communicative you are this week, you will start to realize what is superfluous in terms of connections, in terms of people, what needs to be let go of. For those of you that are partnered and in relationships, this will help you figure out who is or has a negative effect on your relationship. And a good example is, you know, like, let's say your parents don't like your partner, and, you know, when they're around, or you stay at theirs or they stay at yours, it's kind of blatantly obvious. This week you're going to find a way to kind of say, no, okay, this doesn't work, it's a problem, no worries, I'm going to put you in separate spaces. Something is being removed or let go of here, and this is because you're finding your inner calm and inner strength, which is beautiful. For those of you that are single, a bad influence or a bad connection with, you know, and sorry, that's a very limited scope of words to use, but this would just be somebody that is in your life that, you know, they never really want to commit, but they also don't want to let go. This week you could be really saying goodbye to someone, and this comes from a place of you saying, you know what, you're actually a drain on all of my resources, not just from a financial perspective, but, you know, my mind, my energy, my everything. Like, so it's a big realization point this week. For your full moon message, you have the Empress card, right? And this full moon in the sign of Leo is offering a trine energy to your sun, moon, or ascendant, whichever one this is for, which is a harmonious energy, right? And the Empress is everything, including that. She's also number 3, right? So that's really interesting that you've got the 3 3s come up here. But your full moon message is not only to find the beauty in things, but it's also to find the unifying factor in, you know, in all things. I think, you know, when it comes to your life across the board, this is what is the unifying energy, or what presents unifying energy, and what brings separation. This is what you need to figure out this week, and that full moon offering that trine energy to Sagittarius is going to help you figure it out. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.